Omnibus 1 Prelude for the Theban Trilogy. What animal walks with 4 legs in the morning, 2 at midday, and 3 in the evening? Riddles like this capture our attention and challenge us to think. What is meant by day? How can a creature change the number of legs on which it walks? Why would it do so? Considering this answer can be frustrating and perplexing. One can only imagine what it would be like if your life and the life of an entire city hung on the balance of your answer. If you answer correctly, you'll be a king, the hand of the beautiful widowed queen will be yours, and the city will be saved. If you answer wrongly, you will die and the city will perish. Under that kind of pressure, would you come up with the answer? If you want, you may take a moment and see if you can answer the riddle. The story of the Theban Trilogy is about the man who discovered the answer to this riddle, received everything he ever could have wished for, and in the end wished he had never found the answer. General information, author and context. Sophocles, the writer of the Theban Trilogy, was one of the greatest dramatists of all time. He was born in a rural area outside of Colonus, a suburb of Athens. Early in life, he showed that he had talent worthy of notice and was selected to lead a chorus of boys at the celebration of the victory over the Persians in the naval battle of Salamis. He learned drama from Aeschylus, but defeated his mentor when he presented his first play during the festival of Dionysus, which was the top dramatic festival in Athens. He produced over 120 plays during his long life. He won the festival as many as 20 times and never finished lower than second place. Grew up during the Golden Age of Athens, 496 BC to 406 BC, Sophocles served in many varied roles. His first came as a writer, but he also acted in many of his own plays. He served both as a priest and on the board of generals governing Athens. For a time he served as the treasurer of the Delian League. He is noted as a theatrical innovator. He was the first to produce the third actor into extensive use. Plays prior to his employed only 2 actors changing from one role to another, which led to, among other things, extremely tired actors. He is also credited with being the first playwright to paint scenery. He actually juggled so incredibly well in one of his plays that all Athens was in a buzz. Significance. The Theban Trilogy, and particularly Oedipeus the King, demonstrates both Sophocles and Greek tragedy at the height of power and influence. Oedipeus' story was the subsequent of tales of his cursed children move us, because unlike many tragic characters, Oedipeus' flaws are easy to sympathize with, and the horror of his fall is brought on by his own desire to save his city, arouses feelings of pity and horror unapparalleled in modern cinema. The shock of understanding Oedipeus' secret, even before he does, brings the listener to a massive and purging catharsis, or a riddance of bad emotions, where the audience is made to feel both empathy, i.e. to feel the emotions another person is feeling, and pity for a character undergoing a tragic fall. While Oedipeus at Colonus is hints at peace for his cursed family, Antigone brings us back to another round of horrifying tragedy. The Greeks believed that this passionate dwelling up of feelings was beneficial and was, in fact, the point of writing tragedies. In the Theban Trilogy, Sophocles masters this art by selling forth a man who endangers sympathy, is heroic, and makes consistent, rational, and ethical decisions which lead to tragedy that still groans of horror and pity from today's audiences. For the Greeks, plays like the Theban Trilogy served as important parts of curriculum and education. Tragic plays, Aristotle argues, are important in teaching us to be human. From them we learn sympathy and can purge ourselves of these passionate emotions without having to go through the tragedies personally. Main characters. Oedipeus' cursed family composes the main cast of characters. The focal point of the first 2 plays is one character of Oedipeus, born into the ruling family of Thebes, but born under a dark and omnibus curse which states that he will kill his father, Laius, and marry his mother, Jocasta, which we can all agree is not the most pleasant of prophecies. Jocasta plays a large role in the play. Laius is not present. You can guess what has happened, as she unwittingly falls victim to the curse and fulfills it by becoming Oedipeus' wife. The children of the union of mother and son also play a role in the plays. Chief among them is Antigone. She stands as Oedipeus' most loyal child and at times his only comfort in life. Ismene, his other daughter, also visits Oedipeus and Colonus and tries to convince Antigone to avoid doom in the final play. Creon, Oedipeus' uncle and Jocasta's brother, whose role grows during the trilogy, serves in Colonus and Antigone as an example of a man corrupted by power as he attempts to guide the destiny of Thebes and control Oedipus and his family. Creon's son Haemon plays a significant role in the final play. Two characters from outside of the cursed line of Oedipus should also be mentioned. Theseus, the blind prophet of ancient lore, who seems to appear in most every ancient tale, makes appearances in both the first and last plays to reveal hidden things. Theseus, the founder of Athens and slayer of the Minotaur, also plays a role in the second play, befriending and protecting Oedipus and his daughters in Colonus. Summary and setting. The trilogy begins in Thebes, a Greek city, in the generations prior to the Trojan War. Thebes, it seems, has fallen under a curse which can be lifted only if their able king Oedipus gets to the bottom of the problem. The first play, Oedipus the King, consists of Oedipus's constant, unrelenting search for answers and his discovery of his own past. We learn that in a number of important events have occurred, however, prior to the beginning of the story. The rulers of Thebes, King Laius and Queen Jocasta, produced a son who was cursed by the gods. This prophecy said that the boy would eventually rise up and murder his father and marry his mother. Horrified, the king and queen command that the child be abandoned on a hillside, exposed to left and die. Many years later, troubles in Thebes grew. One day the king, while on a journey, is killed by a traveler that he has insulted. To make matters worse, the Sphinx, a mythical, riddling monster, was howling the city of Thebes captive until the hero could answer her. Into his great need, Oedipus stepped, answering the monster, saving the city and winning the heart of its widowed queen. He was made king, and the story opens with him dealing with a curse that has fallen on the city. One can already see his life unraveling, for the gods' curses cannot be avoided. Oedipus, to his own shock and eye-gouging horror, learns that he has unwittingly fulfilled the curse. Oedipus at Colonus, the second play, continues the story as the age, but still cursed. Oedipus wanders from place to place, longing for a quiet death. His only support in track is his faithful daughter, Antigone. In Athens, at the side of Theseus, the legendary founder of the city, Oedipus finds rest and protection, but is disturbed by the news of the sons, Eteocles and Polynices, squabbles and eventual civil war for the throne of Thebes. Rejecting overtures to join both sides of the battle, Oedipus curses his sons and dies. In Antigone, the third play, the final and ghastly end of the curse is seen. Oedipus's curse has come true, and both of his sons have died in battle at each other's hands. Creon, Oedipus's uncle, now takes the throne and provides a large state funeral for Eteocles, but forbids the burial of Polynices. Antigone, Oedipus's daughter, braves and threads the power-hungry Creon and gives her brother his burial rites. For this, she wins the admiration of many, even Creon's son Haemon, and condemnation from the state. The play ends with the curse of Oedipus and the pride of Creon bringing ruin and destruction to their families. Worldview. Have you ever seen the beautiful plant named the oleander? Its flowers shoot out in beautiful colors of white, pink, and red. Its beauty, combined with its toughness, it needs a little water, make it a favorite of many landscapers who plant it in many areas, some of which are accessible by pets and children. At first glance, it is an almost perfect plant. The oleander, however, has a darker side. On closer examination, this evil side becomes evident. The oleander is extremely toxic. 1 out of 8 of a leaf can kill an adult man. Its sap can burn and cause blisters. People have even died from burning its sticks in a fire to roast marshmallows and hot dogs. In many ways, the overview displayed in the Theban Trilogy is like the oleander. At the start of the story, everything seems to be in its place, although a plague has broken out in the city. Its king, the great Oedipus, seems poised to continue to grow in fame by again saving his city from devastation. By the end of the trilogy, however, the poison of false worldview has worked itself through the family of Oedipus. They lie dead and cursed with lives shattered as the oleander is toxic. Like the oleander, however, there is still something good and beautiful that draws the unexpected hand toward it. The worldview of the Theban Trilogy has some surface similarities to Christianity, but on deeper examination, its root view leads to destruction and a life of hopelessness. The harmfulness of this worldview can be seen by examining its view of the gods, man, and salvation. Like the God of Christianity, the gods of the Theban Trilogy are powerful, controlling and ordaining the future. overcoming the barriers and obstacles set in their path by humans. At first glance, this seems good. On close examination, the evil character of these demonic deities can clearly be seen. Although presented as powerful, the gods of the Theban Trilogy, like the Oleander, cannot be trusted. The entire system of Greek deities presents gods that are at odds with, and even at war with one another. The beauty, serenity, and unity of the Trinity is replaced by a multiplicity of gods whose will cannot be clearly known. These gods do not constantly reward piety nor punish sin. In the case of Oedipus, they prove themselves powerful by causing their prophecy to be fulfilled. This horrid oracle claims that Oedipus will kill his father and marry his mother. All of the characters in the story who hear the prophecy take radical steps to avoid these frightful events. These steps involve the attempted murder of an heir to the throne and the flight of a prince from his kingdom. The vile will of the gods will not be stopped, and none of these actions keep them from tricking their followers into unknowingly committing perversity.